Good morning. Miss Wesley is out today, so we need to go ahead and do the bell ringer and our first activity for the class. So if you go into bell ringers, so here's our class, go into bell ringers, and we want the Unit 2.2 organizer. So we're on the second part of Unit 2. That's what Unit 2.2 means. And today's question is right here. What two forces keeps an object in orbit? So go ahead, write that in. What two forces keeps an object in orbit? And I feel like you guys learned this in maybe 7th grade or 8th grade. But anyway, so your answer, so what two forces keep an object in orbit, right? Keeps an object in orbit. You need to pause and write down your answer, and then once you're done with that, push play, and the answer is gravity, right? So the Earth is held by the sun's gravitational pull and inertia. And remember, inertia is like once an object starts moving, it's going to move that way forever unless it hits something else. So for us, if I throw something, it would continue going that way forever if gravity didn't pull it down and it hit the Earth. Okay, so inertia and gravity are going to keep things in orbit. So that's your bell ringer today. All right, and then what I want you to do, you're going to go back to our class in Schoology. So you can close that out when you're done. And we are going to go to Unit 2, Exosphere. And we have a new folder, Functions and Formations of Other Celestial Bodies. Click on that. All right, and we're going to start on this Gravity and Orbits Interactive. So go ahead, click on that. Gravity and Orbits, open that up. Anyway, I thought I pushed pause. Oh, well. So what you're doing with this, explain how gravity controls the motion of our solar system. You're supposed to identify the variables that affect the strength of gravity and predict how motion would change if gravity were stronger or weaker. So it says open the gravity and orbit simulator. So you're going to click on this link. And then you're going to select to scale. So if I'm looking, it has model or to scale. We want that one. Double click it and it'll open it up for you. Investigate the simulation for 10 minutes and write down 5 things that you observe as you manipulate the different settings in the simulation. So you're going to write down 5 things. So literally you're gonna just play around a little bit. I like putting the path on so that I can see how, like, as I mess with this stuff, so I can push play, and this is, here we go. There's Earth going around the sun. Now, if I change the mass of the sun, so you can mess around with this, what's going to happen to the orbit? Or I make it bigger. Star's mass is smaller now. Whoop. So, like, mess around with this stuff. You can actually look at, like, how is the moon with the planet? So there it goes. Let's make Earth bigger. You're going to play all those things. And by messing with all this stuff, you're going to come up with 5 things that you observe. Just tell me what you see as you mess with things. So maybe as I make the sun bigger, the Earth does this. Or when looking at the Earth and the moon, as I mess with this happens. Okay, so you can mess with the moon's mass, you can mess with the planet's mass. Okay, the only thing I would really make sure you have, like, on is the path, so that you can see how it's moving. Okay, And then once I come back, we'll probably share these things. And before we we'll talk about them. You're going to write down anything that you experience or think once I come back and we talk about that. But while you're waiting for me to come back, there's two things you can do. You can do your CK12. There is a CK12. So if I go back here, function formation, it's right there, gravity in the solar system. You can do that, or using the class discussion and what you observed while manipulating the simulation, write 2 or 3 scientific questions that could be investigated using the simulation related to the path of the objects and or the force of gravity. So remember, a testable question means that I can actually go in here and do something about it. So maybe you would write something about, like, if I change the mass of this, what's going to happen to the planet? Or if I change, like, if we're looking at the sun, earth, and moon, if I change the orbit of, or the mass of the sun, what will happen to the moon? So, like, questions that we could actually, like, click on and, like, do something with. So you need to come up with maybe 3. And then we as a class will probably choose one of these. We'll come up with the if-then statement, and then we'll check it out. Okay, so there's that. That's one thing that I want you to at least get to part B before I come back. Okay. And then, of course, if you have time, you can do gravity in the solar system CK12. Okay, right there. That is for homework. Whether you do it in class or not, you need to look into it. Okay, that's it for now.